What's good, everybody? What's good? So today's video is about wide receivers, and why do I think wide receivers have the biggest egos out of all the positions in the NFL? Me playing wide receiver in high school and defensive end. The only thing that slowed me down was injuries. You know, I blew up my ACL, blew up my maternity. You know, it was just a freakish accident, really. You know, I felt something sharp on my knee. You know, and I obviously take good care of my body and stuff. But I guess God didn't want me to play sports. So, you know, I had to, find a new career and find something that I had to enjoy, because I wanted to make it out and, support my family and stuff like that. But, it is what it is. Now, a wide receiver to me is a person that has good hands, that can run the whole route tree, that has eagle eye, that can track the ball, like they just have that vision to track the ball down. A wide receiver has to have great awareness. Now, there's some wide receivers that obviously over the years that doomed their own career. Obviously Odell Beckham Jr., T.O., Chad Brown, Antonio Brown. They all were diva receivers. They just wanted to get stats for themselves. They didn't really care for the team. And some of them did go on to win championships. Others have not. T.O., as great as he was, never won a championship. Larry Fitzgerald, as great as he was, been to a Super Bowl but never won a championship. Megatron, great receiver, spent his whole entire career with the Lions. Some say if he would have went here or there, they would have won the championship. Who knows? Julio Jones, great receiver, been to the Super Bowl, never won a championship. But I know receivers have the biggest egos out of any position, because I always loved the running back position because they never complain. They never complain. If you would have asked me who would you build the team around, without no hesitation, I'll say running back. Because for one, I think running backs are more tougher, are more durable. The only thing they got to do is pass protect. Some of them can, some of them can't. As great as Adrian Peterson was running the ball, he was a terrible pass protecting running back or pass blocking running back. Saquon Barkley, as great as he was a terrible pass protector. He could not pass protect. And you need that in today's game. You look at Ezekiel Elliott, he could do both. You know what I'm saying? Ahmad Bradshaw early on in his career, But I always felt that running backs were overrated. I always felt like they were overrated because they didn't get the flowers that they deserve. Now, I understand the running back is not the most, sexiest position, um, but they get the job done. You know, they like they like kind of like point guards. They can create their own shot and stuff like that. Wide receivers can't really do that. They're very dependent on the quarterback. The running back don't need a quarterback to do nothing. You know, like I always say, the offensive line needs the running back more than the quarterback needs the receivers, because the running back's best friend is the O line. Those guys up front create holes. He just runs through them. Boom, boom, boom. You know, like the quarterback has zero impact on how the running back performs. It's all about up front. If you could create those holes, you could go a mile away. Now, obviously, as my Giants was not good at that, and you saw the difference between Saquon Barkley rushing over 2,000 yards versus Saquon Barkley getting a subpar game of 51, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns type of performance. And I knew if he went a decent team with a decent O-line, he would have balled out. There's no question in my mind. But he couldn't do it here in New York because our O-line is dysfunctional. And a lot of Giants fans don't understand that, or try not to understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy, like I said again, I'm happy that he won the Super Bowl. I'm not one of these Giants fans that, hate is a strong word. I don't hate no thing. If you cheat, then I hate you. Because if you're not trying, then why cheat? You know what I'm saying? At least try, At least you gave effort, I don't like cheaters. You either play the game fair or don't play it at all, But yeah, wide receivers, there's some that are professional receivers, and there's some that are not. Larry Fitzgerald, he was a professional, he was a lifer, Megatron, lifer, But, I always wanted Mike Evans over Odell. But, again, the Giants went for the more flashier pick. I'll put it up. The Giants went for the more flashier pick. And it backfired on them. Now, I'm not saying that they was going to win the Super Bowl with Mike Evans, but at least Mike Evans was not going to, be a distraction to them, because, distraction leads to failure. It's a little quote my grandpa used to tell me. Never knew what it meant, rest in peace, but when he said distraction leads to failure, I never knew what it meant until I think my 9th grade year in high school, when I was a freshman. It's like, damn, he was right. Distraction does lead to failure. If you're distracted by something, you're going to not fulfill your duty by completing the task. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna name 5 things that wide receivers are bad at. Okay, this is probably gonna be like pros versus cons, right? The cons are the bad things, and the pros are the good things, obviously. So I'm gonna name you 5 things that wide receiver does bad. Pros, no cons. First, they have lousy hands. 2, they drop the ball consistently. 3, poor lack of route running. They don't run their routes the way that they're supposed to. Obviously, Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was a terrible route runner. But if you throw the ball long and deep, he got you. You know what I'm saying? Number 4. They have slow feet. Some of them. I think Chad was the only one that had very crisp feet, like moving wise. You know, like nobody could ever keep up with him. You know, like he would tell you, he would literally tell you the route that he's running, and he'll say, "Try to stop me." That's how much confidence he had in his route ability. And number 5, they're not leaders. They're not. If you're telling a wide receiver to be a leader, that's like telling Trump he can't be president no more. If that makes sense. You know, no. Let me make a good example or analogy. Telling a wide receiver to be a leader is like telling a quarterback don't throw interceptions. Because you know he's going to bound to throw 2 or 3 interceptions, right? Okay, so those are the pros. So those are the cons. Those are the bad 5 things that I think wide receivers are bad at. Now I'm going to say the best 5 things a wide receiver is good at. Body control, speed, hands, and yak. And tractor, they can track the ball with a high radius. I'm not disrespecting receivers. I think they all come in different shapes and forms. Some tall, some short. Obviously, Julian Edelman not the tallest receiver, but you know he made up for his height. Wes Welker, not the tallest receiver, but he made up for his height. You know? But that's just my opinion on why I think receivers get so much praise, but they don't put it into display. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would rather give it to a running back in 4th and 1 than give it to a receiver. Because it's easier for a running back to get that first down than it is a receiver because somebody's guarding him. You know, a running back can just squeeze through in there or just bounce it outside or just create something out of nothing. You know, kind of like a point guard. You know how they say, oh, he can't create a shot, or some point guards can't create their shot. Kind of like the running back. A running back could create his own run. You know what I'm saying? He don't really have to go by the design run. If it breaks down, then he'll obviously, make something out of nothing. But receivers, to me, I would have said number 5. They have the most biggest egos. I would probably say ego at number 5. But some of them do have big egos. Some not so much. Like you won't find the Larry Fitzgeralds or the Calvin Johnsons in the world anymore. Those are long and gone. Those receivers are long and gone. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll find an Odell Beckham Jr. in every draft. You'll find an Antonio Brown in every draft. You'll find T.O. in every draft, but those lifers are very hard to come by. The way that the league is shaping out and stuff, like, the longest tenured receiver is probably Mike Evans, you know, it is what it is. Let me know what y'all think. Our wide receivers